Hello everyone, today is February 2nd, 2026, Monday, and this is the weekly market review. So let's get started. Today we see Bitcoin at the 75,000 mark. I'm not surprised. I've been talking about this for the past few months, that a drop was coming, and to be honest, it was incredibly boring. It really was, because we were stuck trading in the exact same narrow range for a very, very long time without any movement. And now we have it started, it has begun. Let's start with what exactly has begun. First of all, there have been publications. The Epstein files have been published, and there's a lot of information. I think in the near future there will be a lot of fakes, a lot of misinformation. After all, we live in the information age, and the information war will be at the highest level. Both real IMA and fake news will be thrown into the mix. The undeniable reality of the situation remains. This is sending massive shockwaves across the entire globe, because these leaked files contain the names of many, many highly powerful and influential individuals from all around the world. And against this deeply concerning and complex backdrop, we have the American fleet already approaching in the Middle East, the Serbian president, Aleksandar Vučić, even went as far as to suggest that shortly after the Epstein files were officially published, a full-scale military invasion of Iran could potentially begin on the global stage. We'll see, but nothing would surprise me, because what's happening is madness. And honestly, I thought this would happen a bit earlier. In my previous posts, I said that some kind of conflict was coming, either in the Middle East or between India and Pakistan and so on. I was saying this back in the middle of last year. It will start, well, maybe with Taiwan, and this will overshadow all the news out there and all the people mentioned in those files. In addition to those points, there is also a substantial volume of news regarding the individual serving as the head of the exchange, OKX. The specific individual now publicly levels serious accusations. Ben once of what happened on October 10th, 2025. In other words, of what started our cryptocurrency crash. And this is due to their decentralized stablecoin, known as USDE. Consequently, this situation resulted in we are witnessing these kinds of massive global liquidations. Besides that, we also have the significant fact that Michael Saylor and his company MicroStrategy are now officially deep in the red on their holdings. But he's still optimistic, and they're still drawing those orange circles. They're still not buying, they're buying, and they will keep buying Bitcoin. But let's take a very close look at the market chart right now to see exactly what's happening here and analyze the trends. Because let him buy. But so let us go ahead and remove this. Right now we're at this kind of level, a truly global phenomenon. This is the significant threshold reached from last February, and April's minimum. And as you understand, we are 100% going to break through it. So the next support level, we will have it. right here at 72, and of course we will break through that as well, and then we'll go somewhere around 66 to 64. These are the very targets I've been talking about for a long time. These are super conservative targets that I am expecting. That's where I'll make my first Bitcoin purchases. That's where my first limit orders are set. And as you understand, this whole formation is in no way a bullish formation. We're going to keep going down further, but let me show you here. Something that works. Right here, we have a cluster, these kinds of volume clusters, and that's why we should come here, somewhere around here, or maybe here. There is also a distinct channel forming here, but absolutely nothing is stopping the price from continuing to move steadily within this specific channel. As I mentioned earlier in our discussion, everything should eventually wrap up in September, specifically in September 2026. So a period of accumulation will be happening right here, maybe even a bit lower than current levels. And after that phase is complete, in some way, maybe moving like this or maybe moving like that, it doesn't really matter for the long-term outlook. And after that, there will be some kind of attempt to go higher already. Most likely we won't immediately go to update the highs already in 2027. Most likely there will be a situation like this, and after that we'll start moving somehow. We can even measure its dimensions, quite exactly. As you can see here, it is $150 over a period of 2 weeks, something like this. So the plan is structured as follows. The system is working correctly, and we are following the established plan. And to be honest, I am not the type of person who gets worried about the price drops that have happened over the past few days. Because as you know, I completely exited the market. Now there are positions, and even 2 of them have already reached their limit orders, and we're continuing. We keep watching all of this. If we take a moment to discuss various other financial instruments that have significantly disrupted and energized the entire market recently. The massive Chinese physical gold pyramid has suddenly collapsed, and now we are witnessing this significant kind of market drop. Well, it is quite a sight. We didn't reach 6,000, and it doesn't look very good. Of course, we need to take a look, we need to check, but it's still too early to say whether this is a reversal pattern or not. But at the very least, right now, it's an engulfing one. But I wouldn't be surprised if, against the backdrop of the events that could happen, various global wars, gold could continue to rise further, just like silver. Just like silver. Silver has dropped significantly. I haven't sold my bars. It dropped literally in 2 or 3 days, let's say, by 40%. Yes, it's a historic drop, an exponential rise. Well, the faster we grow, the faster we fall too. Well, is there anything else to say? Let's see how the situation develops further. Now, well, now leverage and so on will increase here. So things like this breakthrough, remove liquidity, and maybe there will be some kind of story. But this might drag on for a long time, some kind of reaccumulation, and after that, an exit at some level. But the way it fell, of course, looks really, really strong. And regarding the renewal of the highs, I would say that, well, right now it's honestly very hard to say. What I mean is, I want to see how these situations will develop as we move forward. That is just how things are. Regarding, let's see what we have here. Dollar index, the specific dollar index scenario from the year 2023 or even as far back as 2021, as you can clearly see on this chart, is still playing out and continuing to unfold in a remarkably precise and perfect manner so far. So if some kind of global war starts, that is, the opponents of the United States of America, and in particular China, have already... The President of the People's Republic of China has formally initiated discussions regarding the yuan aiming to become the world's primary reserve currency. This significant shift could potentially destabilize established financial structures across the globe, and it could provoke a series of complex geopolitical reactions. A decline in the stability of the dollar, and specifically the dollar index. This is the basic scenario that I adhere to. Let's put it this way. Conservative, down to 86. That concludes this particular section. Next, we will now move on to examine the performance of the Standard & Poor's 500 stock market index. The S&P 500 is unshakable. But I think if a full-scale invasion starts, after all, some kind of massive global war, and even worse, it doesn't end very quickly. And I think if wars begin and there aren't any quick, decisive results, then that can shake the economy of any country, including the United States of America. Even though they are prepared and it's the #1 army in the world, wars are always bad, always bring instability. Markets don't like instability. Markets like predictability. Markets like to have an understanding of what's going to happen. And during times of instability, the best position is when you have no position at all. So that's the situation, and there's really nothing more to say. So, for now, after this drop, most likely we have already surpassed $7,000, the $7,000 mark. So this is a historical high. It was, and after that we dropped like a stone. So what's next for us? Next, basically, there are several different positions available. We're trading slowly, buying up the bottom, and so on. If you want to obtain more detailed information and insights, please, under any chart, simply follow this automated bot, register, and gain full comprehensive access to the web group and the academy. In the academy, I provide new updates and lessons every single week. A new video so that you don't get tired, so that the information is easy to take in, and gradually. Thank you all. Have a great day. Leave your comments, subscribe, and like. I love you all. Bye.